Hey everyone, and welcome to a video that could change the way you raise your chickens. If you've ever wondered how to take your egg or meat production to the next level, you've probably thought about genetics. What if I cross this super layer with this giant to get a dual-purpose super chicken? The logic seems foolproof, but I assure you that in the fascinating world of poultry genetics, things are not always as they seem. In this video, we're going to uncover a secret that many beginner breeders don't know. The reason why certain crosses, far from improving your flock, can end up ruining your bird's best qualities. We're talking about genetic dilution, a phenomenon whereby mixing two pure breeds which have been perfected over generations for a specific purpose, you run the risk of canceling out their best traits. I'm going to show you 12 catastrophic mistakes that will cost you time, money, and, most importantly, the opportunity to have the productive and healthy chickens you've always dreamed of. If you're ready to discover why the prettiest chicken isn't always the best for your farm, stick with me until the end. I guarantee you'll walk away with an invaluable lesson. But before we start, if you love chickens as much as I do, don't forget to give this video a solid like and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue creating useful, quality content for the entire ornamental poultry community. Let's dive in. 1. Leghorn super layer with Brahma gentle giant. This is the first mistake and one of the most common that breeders, for lack of knowledge, make in the hope of creating a dual-purpose bird. You're looking for the best of both worlds, the unparalleled production of the Leghorn, a chicken specialized in laying, and the imposing size of the Brahma, a breed known for its docility and good weight for meat production. The logic seems foolproof, but the result of this mix is totally disappointing. The offspring from this cross is a clear example of how genetic specialization can be diluted. The resulting hen loses the impressive efficiency of the Leghorn, laying significantly fewer eggs throughout the year. At the same time, its growth is affected, as it does not reach the weight and muscle mass of the Brahma, a breed that takes time to fully develop. What you get is not a super chicken, but a bird without a defined purpose. It is not optimal for mass meat production, as its size is intermediate, nor is it efficient for egg production, since its laying genetics are compromised. The time and resources you invest in its feed are not rewarded with a good lay or adequate weight. This cross is a dead end if your goal is to maximize your farm's production. You are left with a bird that is not the best for either meat or egg production, losing the benefits of both specializations. It's a decision that can lead to frustration and a loss of investment. 2. Rhode Island Red, all-purpose layer, with the cochin, ornamental giant. Here the intention is to unite the productivity of the Rhode Island Red, a versatile and reliable layer, with the lush plumage and calm temperament of the cochin. This cross seems promising at first glance, but it ignores a key genetic trait of the cochin, its strong broodiness instinct, which means it is genetically programmed to interrupt its laying cycle to incubate. When you cross it with the Rhode Island Red, this instinct can manifest unpredictably in the offspring. Your hen could spend long periods sitting on the eggs without laying new ones. This nesting behavior completely interrupts the constant production for which the Rhode Island Red is so valued in any flock. Instead of having a consistent layer, you get a bird whose laying rhythm is irregular. In addition to the drop in production, the offspring will not inherit the robustness and versatility that make the Rhode Island Red so popular. The mix can result in a bird with an intermediate size and weight, which does not make it efficient for meat production. Its plumage, while it may be attractive, will not have the full splendor of the pure cochin, leaving a bird without a clear purpose. The cochin's genetics ruin the constant laying rhythm of the Rhode Island Red and leave the poultry keeper without the main benefit they hoped for. It is an example of how an undesirable genetic trait can dominate and ruin the specialization of a chicken. 3. Sussex Docsile layer with the Polish breed with a crest. This cross seems like a good idea to add a touch of visual distinction to your coop. The Sussex is a friendly, calm, and very productive chicken, while the Polish is known for its spectacular and unique crest of feathers on its head. However, this genetic trait, which is its greatest appeal, is also its main problem. The Polish crest is a genetic trait that is often inherited dominantly, meaning most of the chicks will get it. While it may seem attractive, this plumage on the head often obstructs the bird's vision, making it more vulnerable to aggression from other chickens. Unable to see well, it cannot defend itself or escape in time. This makes them an easy target and can cause a lot of stress in your flock. Beyond vision problems, the crest of feathers can easily get wet in the rain or humidity, which causes colds and other health problems, especially in cold climates. This plumage can also accumulate dirt, parasites, or mites, which are difficult to detect and treat. This cross forces you to sacrifice the docility, health, and high egg production of the Sussex for an ornamental trait. The offspring you get will not have the same productivity as the pure Sussex, and, instead, will be a bird that requires additional care and may not be as hardy as you expected, which makes it not worth the risk. 4. Plymouth Rock, friendly layer with the Silky. The Plymouth Rock is one of the ideal backyard chickens, known for its reliable egg production and its friendly, docile personality. The Silky, on the other hand, is a unique ornamental breed, famous for its silky feathers and its extremely strong broodiness instinct. However, the first hurdle for these two breeds is purely physical. The size and weight of the Plymouth Rock, which is considerably larger and heavier, make a natural mating with the small Silky a major challenge. If you manage to cross the two breeds, the resulting offspring will not fulfill the purposes of the Plymouth Rock. Its plumage will be a messy mix of normal and silky feathers that do not adequately protect it from the cold or rain, making it susceptible to respiratory diseases and other health problems. The biggest genetic problem, however, is egg production. The Silky's strong broodiness instinct is highly inheritable. This means that your new hen will spend most of its time incubating eggs, laying only a handful of eggs a year. This behavior completely nullifies the main purpose of having a backyard lair. Finally, this cross produces a bird of an intermediate size that is neither a standard-sized hen nor a true bantam like the Silky, leaving it without a clear purpose for most breeders. It's a bird that is not as hardy as a Plymouth Rock and barely produces eggs, nullifying the main reason you had it in the first place. 5. Ostrolorp, record-setting layer, with the Yokohama, Ornamental. The Ostrolorp holds the world record for egg production, being a true laying machine. It is a dual-purpose breed, valued for its production and its high-quality meat. The Yokohama, for its part, is a show bird, valued for its extremely long tail. Its purpose is to be an exhibition animal, not a production one. When you cross these two breeds, the genes of the Yokohama completely dilute the laying capacity of the Ostrolorp. The offspring will have a much below-average egg production, which nullifies the specialization that makes the Ostrolorp so valuable. The time and money you invest in its feed will not be reflected in a good production. The extremely long tail of the Yokohama is a genetic trait that is often inherited and is not practical for a backyard coop. This tail can drag on the ground, getting filled with dirt and feces, which creates hygiene and health problems. In addition, the bird could be an easy target for predators. This cross is one of the worst you can make, as you do not get any benefit in terms of production. Instead, you are left with a bird that is not useful and requires more care than it offers, destroying the functionality of the Ostrolorp for a purely ornamental trait. 6. Wyandotte, winter layer, with the ancient asil breed. This is a cross that, simply put, makes no sense from a productive point of view. The Wyandotte is a calm chicken, known for its good egg production even in cold climates. The asil, for its part, is an ancient breed, valued for its musculature, its competitive nature, and its fighting spirit. The offspring from this cross will inherit an unpredictable and often aggressive temperament. This can cause constant conflicts in the coop, with fights that result in serious injuries for other, more docile chickens. The stress caused by their presence can affect the entire flock, causing other birds to stop laying eggs or get sick. The resulting bird will not have the consistency in laying of the Wyandotte, since the asil's genetics are not focused on production. In addition to the risk to the rest of the flock, the offspring will not give you productive benefits, as it will not be an efficient layer and its meat will not be as palatable as that of a dual-purpose breed. This cross is a risk to the safety of your flock for a bird that will not give you eggs and will not be a good companion for the rest of your animals. Instead of getting a benefit, you risk losing the peace and harmony of your farm for a cross with no purpose. 7. New Hampshire American, with the Frizzle with curled feathers. The New Hampshire is a robust chicken, a true workhorse on any farm. It is known for its fast growth, good meat production, and consistent laying. The Frizzle, for its part, is not a breed itself but a genetic characteristic that causes the feathers to curl outward. When you cross a New Hampshire with a Frizzle, the result is a chicken that loses the hardiness of the New Hampshire. The curled plumage, while peculiar, does not protect the bird well from the cold or rain, which makes it susceptible to health problems and respiratory diseases. In addition to the feather problem, the egg production of this cross can be inconsistent. The Frizzle's genes are not focused on production, which means that the resulting bird will lay many fewer eggs than a pure New Hampshire, nullifying its main purpose as a dual-purpose chicken. This cross is a mistake because you sacrifice the health and productivity of your chicken for a strange appearance. Instead of having a hardy bird, you end up with an animal that requires special care to stay healthy and does not give you the benefits that a pure New Hampshire could. 8. Delaware American Meat Breed with the Creole French Ornamental. The Delaware is one of the best meat breeds in the USA, known for its fast growth, high-quality meat, and docile temperament. The Creole, on the other hand, is a purely ornamental French chicken, valued for its crest, beard, and unique appearance. When you cross these two breeds, the results are completely disappointing. The offspring will not reach the good meat weight of the Delaware, and its growth will be much slower. In addition, the resulting bird will not have the consistency in laying eggs as the Delaware, and its temperament can be unpredictable, which does not make it a good option for either specialization. You lose the main purpose of the Delaware, which is meat production, to obtain a bird without a clear function. It will not be large enough to be useful in production, and it will not have the characteristics of a show bird, which leaves it in a genetic limbo. This cross is a waste of time and resources. The resulting bird is not what you hoped for and will not provide you with the benefits you were looking for. It is a clear example of how mixing two breeds with very different purposes does not give you the best of both but the worst of both worlds. 9. Dominique American Layer with the Sumatra Ornamental. The Dominique is one of the oldest breeds in the United States, valued for its excellent laying capacity and hardiness. The Sumatra is an ornamental bird known for its long tail and its active and sometimes nervous nature. Crossing these two breeds is a mistake if you are looking for consistent egg production. The Sumatra's genes are not focused on laying, so the offspring will lay many fewer eggs than the pure Dominique. Production is the first thing that is affected in this cross. In addition to the low production, the new hen will inherit an inefficient long tail for the coop, which can get filled with dirt. The temperament will also be compromised, as it can inherit the nervous nature of the Sumatra, which makes it less friendly and more difficult to handle than the docile Dominique. This cross gives you an animal with exotic but useless characteristics for the farm. The result is a bird that is not productive and not as hardy as a pure Dominique, which makes it a risk to the coop. 10. Houdan French with the Sultan Ornamental. The houdan is a French breed known for its crest, beard, and muffs. It is a dual-purpose bird that lays a good number of eggs. The Sultan is an ornamental chicken with an extravagant crest and plumage that make it unique but impractical. When you cross these two breeds, the result is a bird with an excessive crest and beard. This extra plumage on the head is not practical, as it can hinder the bird's vision, making it vulnerable to other animals. Reduced visibility can cause stress and make it an easy target. In addition, the extra plumage can accumulate moisture and dirt, which causes respiratory diseases and skin problems. Although the houdan is a good layer, this cross does not inherit that productivity, and instead you are left with a bird that is not useful for any purpose. This mix of two ornamental traits ends up becoming a health problem. You sacrifice the functionality of the houdan to get a bird that is not good at anything, and that will give you more problems than benefits. 11. Barnevelder Dark Egg Layer with the modern game breed, Showbird. The barnevelder is a chicken with solid egg production and is famous for laying eggs of a beautiful dark brown, almost chocolate color, which makes them highly valued on the market. The modern game is a showbird, bred exclusively for its appearance and fine lines. When you cross these two breeds, the genes of the modern game will dilute the most valuable trait of the barnevelder, its egg color. The offspring will lay much lighter, or even white, eggs, completely nullifying the characteristic that makes the barnevelder special. In addition, its laying capacity will be much lower than that of a pure barnevelder. The modern game is not specialized in production, which means that its genetics compromise that of its offspring, leaving you with a bird that will not give you the benefits you hoped for. This cross nullifies the main reason you would want a barnevelder. You do not get a bird that is good for colored egg production or for exhibition, as it does not have the necessary characteristics for the standard. 12. La Flèche French Meat Breed with the Old English Game Breed. The La Flèche is a dual-purpose French breed, valued especially for the quality of its meat and its good size. The Old English Game is a bird with a competitive and athletic temperament, bred for specific activities. When you cross these two breeds, the result is a hybrid without docility and with very poor meat and egg production. The offspring can inherit a very aggressive temperament, which makes it dangerous for the rest of the flock and for people. This cross makes no sense from a productive point of view. The resulting bird will not reach a good weight for meat or lay a significant number of eggs. On the contrary, it becomes an animal that can cause problems and be difficult to handle. The resulting bird will not give you productive benefits and, instead, becomes a risk to the safety of your farm. You gain nothing in terms of productivity, and, instead, you get a bird that can cause conflicts and be a burden. We have reached the end of our journey, and I hope the lesson has been as clear as a freshly laid egg. As we have seen, the selection and crossing of chickens is not a game of chance. It is an art and a science that requires knowledge to avoid mistakes that can cost you dearly. The breeds I showed you today are not bad in themselves. They have been perfected over decades to fulfill a specific purpose. The mistake is not in them, but in the idea that mixing opposite characteristics will always yield a better result. The key to successful poultry farming is to understand the specialization of each breed and work with it, not against it. So before you try that cross that seems so promising, stop and reflect. Is it really going to improve something? Or are you just going to create a bird that is not good for any purpose? Beauty is admirable, but functionality is what will lead you to success in your coop. If you liked this video and found it useful, please give it a like, share it with other chicken lovers, and leave me a comment telling me if you have ever made any of these mistakes. And if you want to continue learning about how to take your farm to the next level, subscribe and hit the notification bell. See you in the next video. Here's to your success, fellow breeder. Until next time.